Good morning. Today we have another classic, Cotillion by Georgette Heyer. This novel is one of my all-time favorites. Freddy Standen's character was actually inspired by an earlier Heyer title. The minor character we grew to love and many believe stole Freddy's child. If you read it, you will remember the lovable Freddy Frankenhound. Freddy, our hero in Cotillion, you adore from his first appearance. Considered not very bright, and everyone underestimates, Freddy proves by the final pages there is more to this future nobleman than meets the eye. "You're wealthy enough not to be obliged to offer for an heiress, Freddy," said Kitty scornfully. "I ain't going to offer for an heiress," he said, vexed. "Freddy," exclaimed Kitty, staring fixedly at him, "don't you know why Uncle Matthew sent for you?" "Said he had something important to say to me. I thought it was a hum." "Oh, Freddy." "Eh?" "But George, Hugh, and Dolph all knew, so I thought you must know too." "You mean to tell me they're at Arnside?" "Been there since yesterday." "Good God! If I hadn't met you, I should have walked smash into them. The old gentleman must be dipped in the knob to want such a gudgeons at Arnside." "Uncle Matthew is making his will, Freddy." "Who's he leaving his money bags to?" "To me, upon conditions." "What? Nothing to Jack? If that don't beat the Dutch." "Well, felicitations to you, Kitty. Except the condition is I must marry one of you." "What?" "I should have guessed it. If I don't serve him trick and tie for this..." "Who?" "Jack. I thought he was being dashed smoky, but to fall for one of his take-ins..." "Did Jack tell you to come?" "That's it. Met him at Limmer's last night." "Did Jack know why he was sent for?" "He knew. That's why he ain't here." "You think so?" "No doubt of it. I must say I call it a shabby thing to do. That's Jack all over, though." Kitty is somewhere between hurt and angry at the boy she fell in love with as a child. She had always planned to marry Jack, but now she was being ill-treated by her knight in shining armor. What could she do? Well, a fake betrothal just might be the thing for Jack Westrothers, who had been living on the assured belief he would inherit Uncle Matthew's money. So much so in the uncle's good graces, he believed he could disregard any summons he didn't believe to fit his current lifestyle. Freddy passed into the ballroom of Almack's, pausing at the threshold, looking about for his sister. His attention immediately claimed by the lazy male voice at his elbow. "Hello, my tulip. Didn't you realize after all?" Freddy turned quickly. The handsome blue-eyed Corinthian in the Weston coat, neckcloth, fob, seals, and quizzing glass all belonged to a dandy, but the shoulders and the powerful thighs, hidden by satin knee breeches, betrayed the blood. "Oh, hello. You here, cuz?" "Yes, Freddy, I'm here. But what are you doing here? I thought you at Arnside." "Got back today," said Freddy. "What? A short stay, cuz? Didn't they make you welcome?" Jack quizzed with a smirk. Freddy had always admired Jack and looked up to the splendid cousin. He wasn't going to put up with his taunting. "It's a devilish uncomfortable house, and the old gentleman don't like me to take my man there. Besides, no need to stay longer." "No," said Jack, an amusing quiver in his voice. Freddy had the desire to plant his cousin a facer after the past 2 days' discomfiture, and now Jack's implied arrogance. But not in these hallowed halls. "I thought you were bamming me. Dash nearly didn't go. Dare say you didn't know the old gentleman's going to leave his fortune to Kit, provided she marries one of us." "That's some hint of it," Jack implied with a smirk. "Surprised you didn't go to Arnside then." "What made you think me a fortune hunter, Freddy?" "Oh, I don't know about that," said Freddy. "Dare say people took it for granted you and Kit would make a match of it. Thought myself the old gentleman meant to leave the blunt to you." "Well, you did too, didn't you?" "Well done, Freddy. A hit. I didn't go to Arnside because I had the oddest dislike of having my hand forced. Our revered great-uncle's whims are not unamusing, but this one goes beyond the line of what may be tolerated. When I go into wedded shackles, it will be in my own time and in my own fashion. Good notion if the thing comes off right, agreed Freddy. Trouble is, can't be sure it will. I'll take my chances of that. Freddy was well aware of Jack's conquest and rakish reputation. He had never thought much about it before, but Jack's assurances tonight nettled him. Glad I met you tonight. Want to tell you, devilish grateful to you for giving me the nudge. Never thought I had a chance in that quarter. An arrested look crossed Jack's face, but he only cocked an eyebrow. Am I to wish you happy? That's it, replied Freddy. Jack's eyebrows snapped together and his laugh slid from his eyes. But the frown vanished just as quickly. No, Freddy, doing it a bit too brown. Ain't doing it brown at all, said Freddy firmly. Dolph, Hugh, and I offered for Kit. Accepted me. Well, I knew she would. What? Dash it, Jack. Any girl would rather marry me than Dolph or Hugh. Dolph's run off his legs, besides being Dick and a knob, even if he is an earl. And as far as Hugh, Lord. Just so, Freddy, but I still say you're doing it too brown. I will allow that Kitty might prefer you to Dolph or Hugh, but no, Freddy, no. Thought you'd be surprised. Fact is, been thinking for some time I ought to be married. This flight into the realms of fancy was too much for Jack. Enough. This bubble was pricked before it was full blown, cuz I hope you mean to regale me with the true story from Arnside. Knew I was dash fond of her, so I popped the question. And there we are. Got a notion we will suit very well. There was now a slight crease between Jack's brows. Do forgive me, but how come you to tear yourself away from your, betrothed so soon? Still unconvinced. Didn't tear myself away from her. Brought her up to town with me. Wanted to present her to my mother and father. She's in Mount Street. A sudden gleam appeared in Jack's eyes, and a hint of a smile played about the corner of his mouth. I shall call in Mount Street to pay my respects to the future Mrs. Standen. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Jack is convinced Kitty and Freddy are gammoning him and playing him for a fool. Well, let them play their games. He had a nice piece of muslin he was pursuing and didn't have the time to bother with this hoax. Besides, Uncle Matthew and Kitty would come around upon his terms and in his own good time. And the ups and downs and twists and turns of Miss Heyer's novel are enjoyable and fun. Freddy is delightful, and between he and Kitty, they are bound to save everyone, and in the end, might even save themselves. I give Cotillion an A++, and the heat level is 1. If you love historical romance novels and you've never read a Georgette Heyer, you are missing the best of the genre.